If you clicked on this video, you notice that the end of the year is creeping up and you don't want this year to end like any other years before. You want this year to end with positive improvements, some changes, a leveling up, and maybe even some reinvention. We only have 52 days left in the year, and instead of beating ourselves up about the things that we wanted to do but we haven't done, let's jump in together and completely rebrand ourselves before the year end. Let's be part of that small 1% of the population that instead of winding down this time of the year, we will get to work. My goal is to help you finishing the year strong, and I know that this video has found you has just the right time for you to start. I'll walk you through the exact steps that has helped me rebrand my entire life in the short amount of time. From someone who was avoiding workout, addicted to junk food, to reach my physical goal. From someone who was shy and afraid to speak up, or even to ask questions, to someone who is confident in herself and her own ability. From someone who dreaded the Mondays, hated my job, to someone who's now running her own business, which is projecting to reach $500,000 in sales next year. But before we begin talking about any details, there's one thing that is so crucial that I want to touch on. I want you to check in on your belief, your self-perception, because that is where everything starts. Let's just be honest with ourselves for a second here. If your true desire is to get in shape, how many weight loss videos or workout videos that you watched already in the past 24 hours? If your true desire is to get in shape as soon as possible, the problem isn't because you don't know how. The reason why you haven't reached your goal, or maybe haven't even tried, is because there is some part of you that think that this might not happen for you. That little voice in your head that say, maybe what if I can't do it? If you hate your job and you want to quit your job, how many of these videos have you watched already? We're not living in the world where there is a lack of information, where we don't know what to do, but we're living in the world where there is a limited self-belief. If there is even a tiniest part of you that doubt whether you can reach your goal, your brain will automatically say, don't do it, don't even try, because it's not even going to be worth it. Because none of us want to face the embarrassment, and none of us want to have the feeling that we failed. And I know this because I too struggled with this so much in the past. I had always wanted to be strong, but I never thought that it could happen to me. I grew up being skinny fat, and I told myself that I would always continue to be a skinny fat person. There was nothing I can do, and even though if I lifted weights, it wouldn't help. That was the story that I was telling myself, and it wasn't true. There's always some part of us that doubt our abilities, our capabilities, and whispering all the things that could possibly go wrong. But I will let you in the secret. You don't have to listen to it. We can stop focusing and believing that we only deserve the things that we don't want, because I am here to tell you that you deserve the life that you always dream of. You can start by shifting that belief, even though it is a slow process. Start believing that you can do it, you have what it takes, you are capable, because you truly are. And although changing self-belief and self-perception is a good start, but that just isn't enough, because let's face it, we have a short amount of time to rebrand ourselves. So the key really is to focus. And because this video is about rebranding your life, I really want you to take a moment and think about who you want to be when we enter the next year. On January the 1st of the next year, what kind of life do you want to have? What kind of person do you want to become? What sort of things that you want people to talk about you when you're not around? Because the answer to these questions will form the actions that you need to take right now. Start envisioning what your routine would look like, what your day would look like, what your weeks would look like. How would you like to come across to other people? How would you like to treat other people? people? What do you expect other people to say about you when you're not in the room? Because honestly, that is what a personal brand is. There's so many videos on YouTube talking about rebranding, but they don't actually explain to you what a brand is. But your brand is what people say about you when you're not around. It is what people perceive about your personality, identity, and what stands out the most about you. I used to be perceived as a timid accountant. I was way too nice, yet at the same time always the drunkest and most embarrassing at work parties. And that's what people perceived about me. That was my brand. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that in a sense, but I knew that I want to be a different person and be perceived as a different person. Being someone who is well-spoken, someone who's confident, someone who's level-headed, someone who's active but yet still kind and caring, and therefore I knew that a rebrand was necessary. In order to rebrand yourself, you do need to know what you are rebranding yourself to. And here's something that is super important when it comes to rebranding that no one talks about. It doesn't have to be a big, massive shift. And as a matter of fact, because we're working with a short amount of time, it shouldn't be a massive shift. Focusing on just one small upgrade that will have the biggest in your life is the key. Not too long ago, I came across this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. The book emphasizes the idea of focusing on the one important task that will make everything else easier or sometimes even unnecessary. Since we don't have a lot of time, it is so important to focus on the one thing, the one area that you want to work on that will drive the most significant change. Because a lot of time, the problem is that we normally tend to overcomplicate things. Think about children. When children has too many toys to play with, they normally get distracted and they lose track along the way of what is important. For me, that one thing was actually just to be more active. I started incorporating steps target for the day, and it is something I'm still doing now on a daily basis, but with just these small steps, and no pun intended. The walks didn't just help me being more active and improve my health, it also helps boost my moods and helping me make better choices when it comes to diets. So think about that one thing that will create the bigger impact. It could be that you're committing an hour a day working on your passion project. It could be that you're committing an hour a day to exercise. It could be that you set aside some time to learn new skills so that you can make that career change. Because once you have that focus, the actions become simpler. Now you may be wondering, what actions should you take? And I am going to make this very simple for you, because most of the time all you need to do is one of these things or the combination of these three things. And the first one is to add, and that could be things, habits, or people. You may want to add new healthy habits in your life in order to rebrand yourself. You might want to hire a mentor to guide you through to the right direction. When it comes to leveling up, we always often think about adding before we think about anything else. But although it is a great start, there is also other actions that you can take. Those are important as well. And the second one is to remove. And again, it could be removing things, people, or habits. Maybe you're having a bad habits that you want to get rid of, whether that be smoking or addicting to unhealthy foods, or binge drinking, which is something that I also used to do. When it comes to leveling up, it is so common to try to remove something that is holding us back. Or it could be that you're just spending too much time on your phone, scrolling through social media, which eats up the valuable time that you could be more productive and do something else for yourself. It could also be a person. Maybe you are in a toxic relationship that makes you unhappy, that drains you, and that means that you need to get rid of that person or walk away from the situation. And the last thing is to change. If you are doing something or have been doing something to improve yourself, but it hasn't worked work out quite the way you want, the key perhaps is to change. Come at it from a different angle, try different things. So maybe you're unhappy with your job, so you change to a different company, and after doing that for a couple of times, you still found yourself unhappy with what you do for work. So maybe it's time for you to start thinking about a different career, because it could be the career itself that you actually dislike. Maybe you've been focusing on doing cardio for so long, but you don't see the results that you want to see. Try to change and incorporate some weightlifting and see if it will give you the result that you want. Change things and mix things up. It's all about upgrading your habits and your routine. Now, we have covered a lot today, and let me know in the comments what you'll be focusing on until the rest of the year. I hope you feel as excited as I am to make this last 52 days of the year truly counts. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.